Saw some pack running together. We wanted to see what this package would do. It's the first time we've seen it on track at Michigan. What's your takeaway? I'm Jamie Little, by the way, with Larry McReynolds and Michael Waltrip. What was your takeaway?
My takeaway, it gave me everything I wanted to see. I saw some great drafting, be able to pass 3 and 4 wide, going on the outside. Even saw a couple cars venture up into the high lane where there's no rubber down yet, but still making it work. I think NASCAR has nailed it. The speeds are perfect to be able to go down in the corner, hold it wide open, and race each other. And then the action, Jamie. Kyle Busch was the fastest, but in the 10-lap average, Larry, he was all the way back to 8th quickest. Between 1st and 10th in the 10-lap average is what us insiders look at to see what the race might look at. Just 0.2 of a second separate those 10 drivers. We're going to see a heck of a show, Larry.
What's going to be fun, though, for this practice is I think all of them were a little gun shy after Pocono, because there were some cars that definitely had some handling issues last week at Pocono with this package, off the throttle a lot. Elliott Sadler told us after practice earlier today that they're going to trim their car out now. So now it's like they're pretty comfortable, and they'll start trying to find more speed in their cars during this final practice.
Well, there's certainly a lot to talk about. Regan Smith is in the garage covering everything. What's happening, Regan?
Well, it's pretty wild down here in the garage. A lot of teams working hard, some pretty big changes going on. One of those teams that had to make a big change was a 21 car, Daniel Hemrick. 4 top 3 finishes this year, 2 in the past 4 races. He's been one of our best Xfinity Series regulars all year long. He didn't like his car at the start of practice, so they went to a setup that took some of the downforce out of the car, much like Larry just mentioned, and more similar to the teammate of his, Austin Dillon setup. Picked up a lot of speed at the end of that practice. He's excited about his race car now, and when I walked up into the hauler to talk to him, the other 2 team drivers, Austin Dillon and Matt Tiff, were sitting there with him. These guys had big smiles on their face. They were having fun on that racetrack.
And Regan, that's a lot of what we heard from the drivers. Having fun. We're about to see the drivers on track, see if they can dial it in before tomorrow's race. Back after this. Cars pulling out of the garage as they get set for a 50-minute practice session here at Michigan International Speedway. There's a long line, gentlemen, waiting to get out on that track as it's a race maybe against the weather right now.
It is. You know, I've been watching one of my weather apps, and, you know, we could get a little bit of moisture before this practice ends, so definitely want to get out there, consider this is final practice, and let's get after it. That's what they're doing.
How about Austin Cindric in the 60? He just said, boys, I'm tired of waiting. He just took a left and took off. LTi Printing, they're actually sponsoring the race on Saturday. I looked them up. They're a local company from here in Michigan. Family owned and operated. Love to see businesses like that supporting NASCAR.
You know, the way he shot out of there, it almost makes me wonder if maybe Mike Kelly wants to make a little practice qualifying run here just to see what they can run by themselves, because he's sure to get out of there like he didn't want to be in a big pack to start with.
And you know, we don't see a lot of those practice qualifying runs in the Xfinity Series. They want to log laps, dial it in. They only have 2 50-minute practice sessions. But you're right, with Mike Kelly, he's working with Austin Cindric, who, by the way, isn't in this car full time. So they still have that learning period.
I want to be in race trim. I think that I need all the time I can get to make sure I understand this draft, especially with the conditions that have changed so much. It's going to be cooler in this session. That means more grip. That means bolder moves. I want my young racer to be right out there in the middle of this mess, learning all he can.
Well, there you go, Michael. The pack that we saw from earlier, we have a couple forming up right now. And it was a mixed match, 3 or 4 teams working together. That's what we're seeing here, led by the 2. Matt Tiff.
Tire rub, was that on Hemrick's car? Maybe just the tire pressure's down low. As they come up, that should go away. There's that smoke off 21. You could see Brandon Jones in the 19. He elected to stay up top with Tiff, as did Custer, and that's going to cost Hemrick that huge run he had. That's what these guys are going to be faced with tomorrow, Larry. Using their best judgment to decide when to make those dives and when to try to make those passes.
And I noticed right behind this pack, I think it may have been Austin Dillon in the 3 and Ryan Reed in the 16. You see them right there. They're trying to see if they can run that pack down right now, staying lined up. And it looks like to me they're closing up in a hurry.
They're going to have to make a decision when they get there. Which way do we go? We're going to make a move. We're going to have that much extra speed. Do we go high around Hemrick or low? And you can see all the racers that are just trying to form up and get in this huge pack.
This is so fun to see. This is what we're used to seeing when we go to Talladega or Daytona, those restrictor plate tracks. That is what we've been seeing today so far, what we're expecting to see maybe tomorrow. Larry, break down exactly this package. We mention it, but let's remind people what it is and how it's going to be different this time around.
Yeah, it has to do with a lot of the aerodynamics. It has a front splitter on it that's a lot like they run at Daytona and Talladega. Huge rear spoiler with the mandatory ears on the top of the left and the right. It's actually like the 2016 spoiler. And then the air ducts, that's the big thing. It's open air ducts in the left front and the right front that pumps air out the wheel openings. You can see them right there below the RCR right there on Matt Tiff's car. So that's the big things from an aero standpoint. Then you pull the power back. It has a 7/8 restrictor plate, just like we run at Daytona and Talladega. And Michael's been doing the truck races for years. It reminds me a lot of the truck series because they poke a big hole in the air. They have a lot of drag. They have a lot of downforce, and then the power is pulled back.
Yeah, and the truck races are always entertaining on the 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks. The boys are down in Texas tonight, going to mix it up in the truck series. So you'll see a preview to tomorrow's race, probably a little bit at Texas tonight with the trucks. But what I'm seeing here, Jamie, what I love so much about it and why I couldn't wait to watch these 2 practices today on Fox Sports is because it's different. These guys are having to drive differently. That means if you're Kevin Harvick, you're Kyle Busch, sure, you're still going to have an advantage because you're just that good. That's why you race on Sunday. But your advantage is lessened because nobody really has any notes to fall back on or compare to. You can see Harvick back here in traffic. He's out there because he wants to understand, learn what his car does in every situation he puts it in.
And we were riding on board with the 98 of Kevin Harvick for a moment, and you saw that gap close up, and then he jumped. He was 11th or 12th, jumped up to 3rd on the board right now for Harvick. And this is so fun. You don't stay at the top very long. We see a lot of shuffling like we are on track.
These cars are definitely moving around, though, a lot. I just was watching Elliott Sadler in that one car. His car was bouncing around and juking around, all in the middle of the pack.
And there's an orange car down on the bottom, and it has an 18 on the side of it, and he's the one we're all going to be interested to watch. He's at the back of this pack now, Harvick right in the middle of it, and so these Cup stars are trying to get, like I said, in every situation so they can learn. Here comes the Maltesers car.
Kyle Busch in for his 5th of 7 races. Cup drivers only allowed to run 7 races in the Xfinity Series this year, and he has such a great time. He's all right with going out and sticking up the show. He just loves racing, and he would race every Xfinity Series race, I think, if you'd allow him to.
You could see there, David Starr said, I need a push, buddy. He pulled up and cut Kyle Busch off. That's a bold move, and you can see how it propelled Starr down the front straightaway.
Look at this
4 wide
line.
in practice.
And they are not bashful.
And they're not even up into the gray that much yet. You can see John Hunter on the edge of the gray. I think at these speeds, there's more grooves out there. I think they can even go higher yet on the racetrack. We'll see.
And you guys, another thing that we brought into the fold this weekend is a completely different tire, left and right side. So we haven't even really had a chance to talk about that, what we're seeing from these tires. And here's a close call here we were just looking at.
Well, these cars get pushes, and you could see Ryan Reed into the back of Hemrick, just trying to help him draft along. That was a bump draft, and it didn't go well, especially for Hemrick. He got really loose.
And this is just practice. Wait till the race tomorrow. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock on Fox.
This ought to be a fun shot right here. It's already a fun shot, but riding with Ryan Trix and the visor cam will be a fun shot for tomorrow's race.
You can see Joey Gase in the 35 car. He's 17th quickest. We talk about underdogs, who from maybe the back half of the field on a weekly basis, not quite having the top 15 speed, who's going to step up and show that they can jump up there and run in the top 10? Put Joey Gase on that list. He's got a lot of speed in practice.
Do you think that bringing a package like this kind of narrows the field, Michael, and gives maybe those lesser funded teams an opportunity?
I certainly do. I just think that it takes away all the engineering and technological work that goes into trying to run one of these cars around here at 190 miles an hour. At 175 in traffic, it's certainly still hugely difficult. In fact, Jamie, we ran 177 miles an hour in this practice session. And if you think you're sitting at home and you're like, okay, they're going slower, I could do that. No, you can't. I mean, this is 177 miles an hour, wide open through the corner on a high bank 2-mile racetrack in traffic just like that. These drivers are using all their skills right now to try to learn, to try to make moves in order to give themselves the best chance to win tomorrow.
You know, we saw a very similar package that was run in the Cup Series for the All-Star race. Of course, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick were in that race. But you come to the Xfinity Series, there's a lot less experience. There's a lot of drivers who've never raced here in the field, a lot of drivers who are rookies this year, and now suddenly they're put in this situation. It's a recipe for a great race, I think.
Well, it is, and we talked about this in the first practice. Such a huge load on the spotters up on top of the grandstand. Bob told us, you know, that did the All-Star race in Charlotte, said we worked harder during those races, and that was a short race, than we did at Daytona and Talladega with the way these drivers are.
You know, as we're watching this practice, and you can see how close Justin Allgaier was to cutting up outside of Kyle Busch, and it bounced over into the 2 of Matt Tifft there. That's just close quarters racing. So we're talking about how cool this is to watch and how much fun the drivers are having and how tight things are. We got to figure out who's going to be the favorite to win this race. Let's listen to Allgaier.
Look at the left side, freaking 2 ran me over.
Well,
that's not exactly how we saw that.
I would call that differently, Larry. I might have said the darn 7 run into the 2, but when you're out there, it looks a lot different. But as you start to look at guys making runs, who's able to pull up, we know Kyle Busch is going to be on that list, and we know Kevin Harvick is. But who are the other guys that are going to be strong? I'm looking at the 16 of Ryan Reed. Every time we look up, he's near the front of the pack.
Well, Regan, I mentioned that Goodyear brought a different left and right side tire here. What are you hearing?
Well, so far down here in the garage, Jamie, it sounds like this tire is really pretty durable with these cars. I don't hear a lot of guys talking about tire wear or thinking that it's going to be a big storyline tomorrow in terms of if they need to change them or not. So look for a lot of potentially 2-tire stops, maybe even no tire stops based on what they've seen early on.
Which is a lot what we see at Daytona and Talladega. But yeah, this tire was derived from a test that was done in April by 5 Cup drivers, 2 that are in this race, Alex Bowman and Austin Dillon.
There's Kaz Gralla in the 61 there, 13th on the board. Talk about a team making a lot out of very little. Mid-season, he loses his ride. All of a sudden, Fury Racing, they come to the table. They have 4 races scheduled. This is the 3rd of 4. He'll be there at their next race in Iowa. And then that's it that's scheduled. But guys, they're having some good runs and expect perhaps to be back at the track.
Yeah, thing about it, he's run all the races, so he's still playoff eligible. 17th at the points. If they can click off some finishes like they had these first 2 races, he'll be closing in on the top 12.
Jamie, remember when this practice session started, I said there was an orange car down on the bottom at the back of the pack? Well, that orange car was Kyle Busch, and we've watched him race his way all the way through to the front of this pack. See him give Brandon Jones a shot down into turn 3 and then pulls over to try to pass him, but Jones hung tough on the outside, left his car wide open in the corner, and is able to hold Kyle off.
And you notice who has joined Mr. Busch is Mr. Harvick in this 98 car.
And when you see a guy as a racer, when you see a guy like Kyle Busch who seems to maybe be a little bit faster than the rest, you're going to cut him off. You're not going to follow him, or you will simply, as Larry McReynolds like to say, you'll just follow him.
That's what you'll do.
You got to make
the leader. You'll follow the leader.
Need a plan B. And
we hate to do it. 39 minutes left in practice. More from Michigan after this. And we're back to Michigan International Speedway. The 19 of Brandon Jones has gone around. They were running in the pack there, and well, guys, we'll have to take a look and see what exactly happened with Brandon Jones.
I was watching, and I didn't really see any contact. He was right in the middle of the
Justin
road.
Allgaier was all but wrecked there as well.
Really fortunate for both those guys, because Brandon was loose, dead in the center of the turn, and it went for a long, slippery slide.
Yeah, all Chris Gabehart and that 19 crew will have to do is maybe tighten it up and put 4 fresh tires. Here's what they had to say, though.
Brandon, did you get under the wall? Rear a little bit. Did not seem hard at all. If anything, the back scraped it some, the front did not. But I did get in the grass here with the nose a little bit, so splitter might be a little jacked up. I got some flat rears.
Yeah, you could definitely see some damage on that right rear, especially where the gap had opened between the quarter panel and the base of the rear spoiler. So a little bit of damage to that right rear quarter panel.
I thought that was interesting, Larry, because I was watching down there, and I didn't see where that he was particularly close to any other cars. There was no one right on his rear bumper. He didn't have anybody on his outside, and it looked like to me a situation where if you could spin out like that, you should have been raising Cain earlier when he was in the middle of the pack.
But think about what we heard between the practices. Think about Regan said people were starting about trying to find more speed, which means taking a little bit of the drivability away.
And if you think about this, we saw him a lot out front. Remember, Kyle Busch was trying to get below him. He was out front. And then when Harvick tried to get below him, he was leading the pack. So anytime you're 4, 5, 6 cars deep in the traffic, you're going to have a totally different handling car.
It's interesting. And we're back to green with 28.5 minutes left in this final practice for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I'm Jamie Little, joined by Larry McReynolds and Michael Waltrip. Well, it's been eventful so far, guys. What are you seeing here?
Exactly what we expected. Guys just turning up the volume, if you will. And we knew that was going to happen in this session, and it'll just continue to twist up as we run through the race tomorrow. I like the speed I'm seeing of some of our underdogs that we've talked about, including those two right there, hot on the heels of Paul Menard. That's Ryan Reed and Ross Chastain.
Well, things got a little too eventful for one man in particular, Brandon Jones. He's standing by with Regan.
Very fortunate that the car isn't tore up worse than it is. Brandon, what happened out there, and were you loose before that happened?
Not really, no. It was really interesting the way that went down there. My car was actually on the tighter side there the whole run, leading pretty well with that pack behind us. And I don't know, I think the pack might have closed up a little bit more than they had, and might have packed some air on the back of our car some. And got at least that's the only thing I can think of. It almost felt like a flat tire, but I know there wasn't a flat. But I had that sensation of just from 100% grip to 0% grip in a matter of a couple seconds. So luckily, like you said, the car's in okay shape here. I think we can get it fixed up. Just a couple of crushed panels and stuff hurt, so we can get all that replaced and be back out there.
You don't think maybe there was anything on the racetrack, perhaps, do you? We saw that there was a car maybe having an engine issue down there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has that sensation too. You know, it's that big grip loss all of a sudden. So I've hit oil a couple times and it's had that feeling as well, or fluids or whatever it has been. So there's just no way of really knowing, I guess, at this point.
One more thing for these guys to worry about, Jamie. There's a lot going on out there today.
There certainly is. Right now I'm looking at the 4-car, Ross Chastain. He always just finds a way to get up there, mix it up with these guys, and the JD Motorsports Chevrolet doing a nice job once again.
Yeah, he's 7th quickest right now. He's run a total of 13 laps in this 4-car. But again, it reminds me a lot of what we see at Daytona and Talladega, where this package kind of just, it's a little bit of an equalizer.
We saw a really tight battle off turn 2 there with John Hunter and Ross, and that's what we're going to see all day tomorrow. You can see Truex was able to really pull up on Ross on the straightaway, but then fell back in the turn. See if he can get that same draft down the back.
And the 16 of Ryan Reed, you see him getting passed by the 60 of Austin Cindric. But Ryan Reed, it has been a tough season for him. There's no way around that. Of course, he did well at Daytona, finished 3rd. But you put a restrictor plate on it, and the 16 is always up in the mix. What is it about this style of racing that you guys feel like he's so good at?
Well, and when he won Daytona the first time, he was kind of in the right place at the right time. But the second win he got down there, he held off Casey Cain, who I've never seen a guy make more moves in one lap than Casey did. And Ryan Reed was perfect in his execution, controlled that race and won. So today I'm really interested in watching him this weekend. I've had my eye on him since practice started because he's got great speed, as you can see here. But there's a little bit difference between racing here and Daytona. Well, actually a lot. You're wide open for sure at Daytona without any handling issues. Here, you get yourself in a bind in a hurry if you get your car in the wrong position. So it'll be interesting to see if these guys get comfortable where they start to think, okay, this is like Daytona. I've got a lot of grip, and then that grip goes away. What happens?
Yeah, one thing we saw with him going through 3 and 4, he had to keep rolling out of the throttle, but it was just to keep from running over his teammate Austin Cindric in that 60 car.
I like what I'm seeing. I've liked it since we threw the green earlier today for that first session. He's right on pace to be one of the strongest cars.
Top of the board right now, Austin Dillon in the 3-car. 177 miles per hour is the fastest, 14 laps in the books. Austin's had some success here, but he hasn't run an Xfinity race at Michigan since 2013, so it's been quite some time for him.
Well, he hasn't missed anything because this isn't anything like you would have run the last 3 years if he had of Jamie. So And you've got the experience and the talent that Austin Dillon has. You just get in there and figure out how to tell your crew what to do to that car to make it handle better and go faster.
It was so cool to see on Race Hub yesterday. They went to his house. His house is a barn. Austin Dillon lives and parties in a barn. He even has a car, a gold Camaro, I believe it is, and he burned down the house basically when he won the Daytona 500. Cool story. I like him. Barn life.
Yeah,
it's called.
we played basketball together, and just a thankful young man that he gets to do what he loves to do, race cars, live in a barn. I mean, how much better does it get than that?
And his wife's okay with it.
For now.
For now.
For now. You know, one thing that we were talking about the other day is when you look at this race at Michigan, the Xfinity Series, they come here one time a year. 9 drivers got their first win of the season at Michigan, including the last 4 winners here. I get a feeling that we could be flirting with that happening again. I know we're all looking to that 18 car right there of Kyle Busch, but I'm not going to rule out that a driver's not going to get the first win of the season here tomorrow.
And don't you love, Larry, as the crew chief, what this young man's doing right here? He fell to the back of the pack twice now. That means he's put his car in every position it could be in. Now let's see if he's, like earlier, able to just slice his way through this draft and get to the front. And what adjustments might they make when they go to the garage area? When he's done that, probably didn't like something the way it felt. Crew went to work on it, decided to make an adjustment and go back out and try again.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of talk. Regan even did a couple reports about them changing the Packers, you know, the travel limiters on, especially the front shocks. Seems like there's been a lot of that going on today.
We're on board with the 98 at Kevin Harvick. Fun to see him back in the series, his 3rd run this year. Watch this pack close up on the outside, and Austin Dillon in the 3 goes by Ryan Truex in the 11. I love that shot. We saw it in first practice as well.
There you can see 00 Cole Custer. On the high side is Kyle Busch.
Taking it 3 wide.
I talked about that outer groove being a possibility, an option. Kyle said, I think I'll take that.
So Kyle Busch, this is his 5th race out of 7 that he'll run this year. This guy just loves to race. And Joey Logano, he's going to be in the booth for this race on Fox tomorrow afternoon. He told us in the meeting this morning, I just love to race, and I would race in every Xfinity race if you would allow me to.
He also added to that, he said, I love to win also.
I love to. So I'm not going to race just for anybody, but if I had a chance to win, I want to be in every race. True racer.
That's what Cindric wanted to see there. He wanted to see what it was like on the straightaway to side draft, pull up, and he was able to do that. Now can he keep the thing on the mat and keep Kyle Busch pinned down? He's able to do that.
See, these guys like Austin Cindric, I mean, a lot of people are very critical of having Cup drivers run, but a guy like Austin Cindric, he is learning so much running with Kyle Busch right now, watching the moves he's making. And by the way, Austin Cindric is driving for Roush this weekend. Well, last week he was driving for Penske, finished 4th. He was the best rookie in the race. This guy's technically driving for 3 different teams, 2 different car numbers for Penske.
You can see he's probably thinking, I can learn a lot from Daniel Hemrick too, and Cole Custer. These guys are all over me.
I think that's a driver that's on the brink of getting his first win of 2018. Cole Custer in that 00 car got that first win of his career back at Homestead Miami Speedway, but comes in here really on a run of races, 2nd in the points right now.
And that was a drubbing down in Miami, wasn't
it? Yes,
Larry?
it was.
He really took it to the field, ran about 1 inch off the wall for 300 miles, and that's exactly what I love seeing. Somebody that understands there's grip up there, and if you got to go up and get it, then that's what you have to do.
I always feel bad for
Whoa,
him. Whoa.
3 wide.
Kyle Busch had enough of that action.
He's down there with
goodness.
dust flying.
Right up the racetrack. Kyle just feeling it out, seeing where he could take this car. By the way, he has an interim crew chief this weekend. Kyle Busch wins the race at Pocono and fails post-race inspection. The left front was too high. So Eric Phillips home this weekend, and his engineer Dustin Zacharias making his crew chief debut. Let's take a look back at this with Kyle Busch.
That's just draft right there. Was able to use the throttle off turn 4, kept it wide open, good momentum, and not only sweeps under them, but then straight up back in front of those two.
DW said a number of years ago, Kyle Busch is the only driver he's ever seen that can run 3 wide by himself. I think we just saw it right there.
That's exactly right. He's right where he wants to be, leading the field right there. But it's still Austin Dillon in the 3, fastest so far. 19 minutes to go in practice. We'll be back. A great job. I love watching Race Hub during the week. And of course, Michael, Larry, you guys spend a lot of time on that show recapping all the action from the weekend.
Well, and remember, Blake Cook is always in there on Tuesday recapping and looking ahead to the next Xfinity Series race. I think they may have to give him an additional segment or two this week.
He could have had a whole segment on practice alone with all the moves we've seen.
If the race is anything like we've been witnessing here, sign me up. This has been a lot of fun. This is our visor cam, Ryan Truex. This is the closest perspective you're going to get on the broadcast from a driver. It's close to his eyes. You get that feel, the vibration, the bumps that he's feeling as he races around other cars, and these guys aren't backing down. He's been within the pack this entire practice.
And that last time by, he ran the second fastest time in this session, so he's not only given us a great view, but speeds of approaching 180 miles an hour down in the corner with this tight pack racing. I think it's really fun to see these guys have to adapt to running wide open through the center of the corners and then figuring out how to get the drafts, the pull-ups that they need to make moves and pass. And you can see there's Bowman down to the bottom trying to accomplish just that.
You know, we've had 19 drivers so far run at least 10 consecutive laps. In this practice a year ago, and we still have 15 minutes to go, only 12 drivers did 10 consecutive laps. But I think that's just how they're trying to learn more and more and more about what we have here.
We talked to Allgaier, and he said how fast his Chevy is. Look at him there. Pulled right up on the back of Alex Bowman, and they're trying to take the front of this pack away from Kyle Busch.
You know, Jamie, we were talking about Ryan Truex. I think this might be one of the tracks that's not a home track for him. I think every other track in the Northeast is a home track.
We always joke with his brother about that. How many home tracks do you have? Well, like 4 or 5. Regan, what's going on?
Well, the 22 car, Paul Menard, back here in the garage right now going up on jack stands. He was pretty happy with the race car. He had to cut that run just a little bit short because he had a gauge flashing with him telling him that he had an overheating issue going on. So they wanted to correct that. They got their tire temps, and now he's sitting here. No matter what happens to this car, though, today, this race car is going to be running like $1 million all weekend long. Why is that? That's because his engineer, Andrew Overstreet, was with Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, this week. He got to meet him at the Charlotte Knights game. He was there doing an appearance for the Knights, a minor league baseball team in Charlotte. And I got to tell you guys, I had an epic fail as a father. I had my son Rhett there. I didn't take the time to go introduce him and get a picture with him that he could have forever.
That's okay. You took him to the ball game, though. That's what matters.
That's right, having a good time. So back to Alex Bowman. This is his first start in the series this year. He sat on pole for Junior Motorsports back in 2016. But what this team is overcoming, what they're doing, Chad Norris, I mean, he told me this morning he just met Alex Bowman officially on Tuesday. He did the same with Chase Elliott for 2 weeks in a row. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, 4 different drivers under adverse conditions, of course. And you just look at their year, the 12 races. They got the win at Talladega with Spencer Gallagher, only 2 finishes outside the top 15.
He might not have met him until the other day, but he likes him right now, doesn't he?
He does.
My man is out front pulling the field along.
Throttle down, turn left. He's doing a nice job in the 23. 5 Cup drivers in the field this weekend. 12.5 minutes left here at Michigan. We'll be back. NASCAR Xfinity Series final practice coming to an end, about 10.5 minutes to go. Austin Dillon still the fastest. It's the Chevy Brigade, the top 4 spots right now. Ryan Truex second, Elliott Sadler third, and Justin Allgaier in 4th. There's Kevin Harvick on pit road.
You know, Larry, a lot of times at the super speedways we see that's practicing pit road right there. He was able to really understand, gauge his speed all the way down and then see what that's like. And that's something that's important, Larry, because he hasn't driven these rules with pit road speed, so you got to see what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, he's used to looking at a digital dash, and they've got the normal tachometer.
Regan, who do you have?
Well, Christopher Bell already out of his race car, 19th on the board. We were watching Kevin Harvick on the monitor there practicing pit road. You had a little pit road problem last week that got you behind just a little bit. How's your race car today right now, though?
I think my Rim Camry does everything I need it to. It's pretty much like speedway practice out there right now. So was a little bit loose there in the draft on the first practice, but they got it tightened up for me there. And pretty much no handling complaints there that last run we did in the draft. And you know, a lot like truck racing here.
Christopher told me, he said it's going to look a lot like Daytona and Talladega at times, but his car is comfortable, so don't get too concerned about where it is on the board.
I like that.
Good attitude. First start in the Xfinity Series for Christopher Bell. Here's Kevin Harvick. Hard charger. What do you see here as he gets down off the racetrack?
Well, this is a great entry to this pit road. You want to carry as much speed as possible, and you can see he locked up the tires. Certainly didn't mean to do that, but you have to do that to find your limits. And you know, after that, Larry, he might dial some rear brake into the race car so that maybe the back tires grab a little bit more and he doesn't have that issue.
Coming out. At your lights now.
He was talking about the lights on the tack right there. There you can see his tack right there on the steering column.
Like how I can move around, you know, from the center out of the corner. I put myself in a lot of bad spots on the bottom, which I won't do tomorrow purposely, like I did today. Yeah, 10-4, man.
Now, Larry, that's just a perfect example of, I knew that wouldn't work, but I had to prove it wouldn't work. I put myself in a bad spot on purpose to see what the result would be, and the experience Kevin Harvick said that won't happen tomorrow.
And you think about getting on the pit road and pit road, Jamie and Michael, this is a 125 lap race. We feel like the fuel window is going to be somewhere in the high 50s, so that could mean only 2 trips to pit road tomorrow, whether it's under caution or under green.
Better make it count. Here we go. Let's watch On Board with Ryan Truex from his perspective.
You could see he got his slow down a little bit more than he hoped to before the line, so he had to gas it up a little bit right before that yellow line, and he'll run from one end to the other. And then it's also really important, Larry, to when you get to the end of pit road, gun it and run around the apron wide open just to make sure you understand how your car will feel. A lot of traffic down there, so he'll abort that plan until he gets past the traffic.
Hey, Regan, what's happening?
Well, Ross Chastain, 11th in practice right now, already out of your race car. Hey, we saw this team have a wonderful run last week. You had a lot of speed, not only in qualifying in the race. We're seeing the same thing out of this race car today. You're liking this package, I have to imagine.
Well, not really.
Make a liar out of me already, thanks.
Yeah. Well, not to start. We unloaded and we were just slow, and the car just felt boggy, and they threw a lot at it between practices, and it's a whole different car. It's crazy. So it's kind of making us rethink a lot of things we do aero-wise on even other tracks. You know, I don't know what we'll do when we, go to another big track with our regular downforce package. But yeah, I mean, it has closed the gap. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of this package. I've been, with Wayne Otten and saying I didn't really think it was right for this series. But shoot, if it makes us faster compared to the field, I'm all for it, I guess. I mean, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it looks good from where I'm sitting. Fortunately, I am on the TV side of things now because it looks very wild out there. Ross Chastain, a good race car.
I think he's trying to interview Regan Smith.
And Ross was good enough to bring us some Hungry Howie's Pizza. I guess that's a sponsor on his Cup car. He's one of the 8 drivers that's actually doing the double duty this weekend.
Yes, quite a few of them. A lot going on. It's get out of one car, go to the next car, back to the next. And, of course, Cup Series qualifying coming up right after us at 4 o'clock.
This is a group of cars that sat down at the end of pit road. We saw them with other guys practicing their pit road speed, and they wanted to get together and run on purpose. See how they do.
177 miles per hour. Austin Dillon is the fastest. More from Michigan after this. Coming down to the final minutes of this final practice for the NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers. Well, it's been exciting. Both practice sessions today. We've seen a lot. I think a lot to look forward to for tomorrow's race.
Just the number of laps that drivers, we were talking during commercial break, Jamie, Matt Tiff ran 35 laps in that first practice. He's run the most laps of any driver in this practice of 40. 75 laps he's run in these 2 practice sessions combined.
And you know what I love about it, Larry? He's 16th fastest overall. I guarantee he thinks he can win the race. That's what I love.
Hey, Regan.
Daniel Hemrick out of his car, yet another guy. Hey, I wanted to ask you about your race car, but you got out of the car and said, was that as fun on TV as it was on the racetrack? Then I saw your rear bumper right over here. That thing looks like you've been at Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, the front bumper looks the same way. The good thing is that means you're able to push. And, man, I'm telling you, if I wasn't here tomorrow, you need to get here because it's going to be fun to watch. The South Point Hotel Casino Chevrolet is so super fast. We made a lot of really good changes right there near the end of first practice. That really got me where I feel like we needed to be, and we fine-tuned it throughout that whole session. And able to run a lot of laps and put ourselves in probably the worst possible scenario aero-wise. And, you know, this package, I think everybody's kind of up in the air about it. But for this racetrack in particular, I think it's been a blast. And like I said, our car is almost as fast as Xfinity's internet service, and that's a good thing because they're as fast as it gets.
I am loving the comments coming out of these drivers, you guys. It's fun to hear how pumped up they all are about these race cars.
He did a great job just selling, hey, sign up if you're not here tomorrow, be watching on TV. Hemrick ends his practice session 10th after 30 laps. And by the way, he's sponsored by South Point. That's in Las Vegas. Just want to give a shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights. Took it all the way to the finals, and they came up a bit short, but congratulations to the Capitals winning their first Stanley Cup.
A lot of excitement and energy in the nation's capital, wasn't it? And so much fun to see the Golden Knights be able to have a season like that. Fun hockey season to follow. Look at that.
3 wide with just a minute and 40 left to go.
Larry, as a crew chief, are you saying, okay, I've seen enough 3 wide, buddy. I want my car back.
I'll be glad when I see that clock go 0.00 and I don't have any marks on my race car.
How about Elliott Sadler, guys? He's 3rd right now. He hasn't been having the best practice sessions. I feel like they've had to kind of reshuffle everything that they bring to the track before the race for consecutive weeks in a row now. But today he's having a good showing.
He's just not run a lot of laps compared to a lot of these other drivers. We see a lot of drivers that's run 30-something laps. We talked about Matt Tiff running 40. Elliott has only run 16 laps.
But we talked to him earlier. Didn't he say he was really happy with the way his car handling? Maybe just a slight adjustment for this session?
Trying to find a little more speed.
You know what I love about Elliott Sadler? He'll tell you if he's good or not, and he'll tell you if he's bad. And I think those comments made me believe he feels like he's got the car he needs.
And I loved it because he seemed so happy and genuine, Michael. I know you love to say everything is fun and racing is fun. He was having a lot of fun earlier.
That's been the buzzword from the garage area, and we thought we would hear that. We also thought that these rules might not provide the type of drafting and passing and action at Pocono that they would here at Michigan, and that's certainly been the case. So I think there's been so much learned in these 2-hour-long sessions that is going to make the racing tomorrow very entertaining.
Tyler Reddick in the 9. He's made the highlight reels with spins the last few weeks, but so far today, and he told me earlier, he said, I've looked at what I've been doing. I'm an aggressive driver. That's how I approach things, but I feel like I'm giving up too many stage points. I need to back it down a little bit, and I feel like he's been pretty smart here.
Stage points overall. I mean, you make mistakes, they're going to cost you, but I love his spirit, and I love the way he drives that 9 car. Sure does make for good TV when you follow Tyler Reddick along. Very talented racer.
Flags are out. That is it for this practice session. Let's get another in practice today. No surprise, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you see Austin Dillon over there, fastest in this second practice. Austin ran a total of 34 laps.
But how about fastest in 10-lap average, Kaz Gralla, and fastest in 15-lap average, Matt Tiff. That just tells you how competitive things will be around here tomorrow afternoon.
It's got to give a team like Kaz and that 61 so much hope. Like, man, we're in there. We have a shot at this thing tomorrow. So this is what's coming up. Plenty more racing action today. Cup qualifying. Boys will be right here in the booth on FS1. And then tonight, the trucks in Texas under the lights. Qualifying, though, coming up for them at 5:30 Eastern. There's Martin Truex Jr. getting ready to qualify. Big race for him last week, and Ryan Blaney signing some autographs. Well, it sure has been fun. It's always a pleasure to work alongside you, Larry McReynolds, Michael Waltrip. You guys are the best.
You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Amazing job.
Well, our man, the master, Adam Alexander, will be back tomorrow. Congratulations to his daughter, graduated from 8th grade today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Cup Series qualifying is up next.